I love what I do because we're making an impact in people's lives. So many individuals have been impacted by sexual violence, and it could be the individual themselves or their family or their friends. I myself have had family and friends be impacted by sexual violence, and that includes sexual harassment as well. So I love what I do because we are able to help those individuals. We are able to show that they don't have to keep hidden, that they can talk about what they've gone through and how they've been impacted, and we can help them move forward in their lives. Our most typical calls would be from individuals that have been impacted by sexual violence. This could include survivors or victims or family members of survivors. It could be concerned professionals, but most often it is survivors or victims. Typically when they call in, they're usually a little bit more heightened, maybe a little bit more panicked or triggered, maybe not sleeping. And so we are there to help de-escalate, to help calm, to provide options, to let them know what their next steps could look like, and to give them, to empower them really to take those next steps.
The topic might be difficult and painful, and everybody's story might be a little bit different, but the one thing that everybody has in common is like a real need to be seen, heard, and validated, right? And that all of them that walk through those doors, they're just so courageous. It takes a lot of courage to come and share your story, especially if it's a story that you've held in for 40 years or 50 years, right? I have quite a few clients that had childhood sexual abuse and didn't even really realize that they had the right to talk about it, because our society's been always very taboo about that. You don't talk about that stuff, right? I see success in different ways. So for instance, if a client is able to say to me, like, thank you, I feel better about myself. I used to feel so much shame, but I realize now it wasn't my fault. That to me is a huge success, because maybe they came in looking like they just wanted some help because they were feeling maybe suicidal or like just hopeless, but they had a huge burden they carried on their shoulders from something that happened when they were 8 years old.
Because this is people's stories have never been told, and kids don't have the language to tell it. So they tell it through puppets, they tell it through sand tray, they tell it through characters, they tell it through dress up, and they're able to express and get that empowerment back. They start to express what the characters might be feeling and experiencing. And they can verbalize a little bit of what it might be like to feel low power, to feel like someone is not able to fight back. And we use play techniques and art techniques and music techniques to provide a voice for a story that's never been told. And that story is there, and it's underlying all of what's happening with this child. But the other part of that too is we equip parents with the knowledge and expertise on how to manage this. Because you can't just work with the kids on your own. A lot of parents are really ashamed and very embarrassed by what happened. And as therapy goes on, they're more willing to share what's going on with them. They're feeling like I have someone I can talk to about what's happened, and they don't feel so alone. And then they can help us navigate all the other things that are going on.
Prevention education is really important because we need to be able to give individuals, whether they be children, teenagers, or adults, the information they need to keep themselves safe. And with the online world today, we have children, youth, teenagers, adolescents, they're playing video games, they're on social media, and sometimes they're getting these mixed messages of who they should be, how they should act, how they should dress, how they should look. And I feel every individual is unique, and we need to bring back their own self-esteem and understand who they are, value themselves, their bodies, their beliefs, their values. And in order to do that, we need to educate them on what is right for them and being able to make responsible decisions based on what they feel is appropriate. And I just wanted to leave off on a quote I heard. I'm not sure where it's come from, I just heard it. They say an ounce of prevention can equal a pound of a cure. So it's really important in that sense that we can give them some information to be able to hopefully prevent future issues arising if that were to happen.
This place is great, right? Because we have wonderful therapists, wonderful support staff, and we have wonderful clients. And each day I look forward to coming to work and working with my clients, because they are so, I don't know, they're just I admire them for being willing to share a very painful story with really what is a stranger to start with, right? And I have learned, I think, as much from them as they've learned from me. So that's why I like working at CASASC. We have a really committed group of people here, and our clients keep coming back. So that tells me that we're doing something right.